All right. So welcome back here. For this lesson today, we're going to work on some exercises with working with tracks. So a very underestimated part of Pro Tools is learning how to properly create and name tracks. The benefit of this is it helps you keep your session very organized, and if everything is named, you're spending less time trying to find your tracks, and then you can work a little bit faster when you don't have to search all over the place and guess which is what. All right. So to start this off, we're going to make sure that the main counter. I want to make sure that this is in bars and beats. Now, this is just for the exercise portion here, and it's just a checklist of how you want to run through your session as well. So I want to make sure my bars and beats is selected. I want to make sure that on the left I can see my tracks list, and then on the right I can see my clips list, which is going to give us all the information for any recorded audio that we record that's set inside the edit window here. And then the tracks list is going to give us information about the tracks that we created. Okay, pretty cut and dry there. And then our tempo here is how fast our session is moving, or how fast the music is being recorded, the pace or the tempo, however you want to define it. We're going to set this. You can always change it. Pro Tools sets it to 120 by default, but we have the option of changing it. So I will change this to 100 just for the heck of it, just to see a change there. All right, cool. So here's a really cool way to start to organize your session. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to track, go to new, and I'm going to set this up as a mock session. So I'm going to create, let's say there's 6 different performance parts for my session here. So I'm going to name all these mono audio tracks. I'm also going to create a stereo master fader, and I'll explain what that is in a second here. So the stereo master fader is a combination of all the audio, and it gives you the readout of how loud everything is once they're all combined and playing at the same time. The master fader is going to tell you how loud your music is once it gets outside of your interface through your speakers or to whatever recording device that it's going out to. Okay, so here we go. I created 6 different tracks here. Now here's the cool part. What I want to do, I'm going to rename each one of these tracks verse. I can do it 2 ways. I can copy and then just paste the word verse. I didn't want to do that. Hold on. All right, let's back it up again here. Make my 6 tracks, 3, 4, 5, 6. Master fader. All right. Verse. Okay. And don't worry if it's tedious. The whole point of this is some things you don't want to speed through. You want to make sure that you have everything properly labeled for a reason. So now I'm going to name everything verse, and then I'm going to hit create. So what you just noticed is once Pro Tools renamed all the tracks here, I'm going to get rid of this extra track that I created. It's master fader. Everything is labeled verse 1 through 6. Now you have the option. Let's say that we have 3 verses on the song, but then we also have a bridge or chorus or hook, however you like to label it. I'm going to hit the next tab. Verse 5 might end up being my bridge, and then verse 6 may end up being my outro. Then I'll hit create. So now I have my tracks already labeled. Everything's labeled just from the jump. And now I want to make sure that my input and outputs are matching correctly. So my output path selector, this is the audio that's going out of your interface to the speakers. I want to make sure that each one of my tracks are reading the same output path. Got it. The input path. So if we are using maybe one channel to record, such as if you got one artist and one microphone, you're typically going to have just one person, one microphone. You're not going to have 6 microphones set up for one person to record on all of them. So what we can do is make sure that our input is set to whichever the input that your microphone is connected to. So this is on input 1, and then I'll set each one of these to match. Cool. So, and then last, what we can do is if you want to color code your tracks. So if you want each track to have a certain color so that you can keep track and identify a lot faster, you can come up with your own scheme. Mine, I'll typically have like my verse. I usually use the lighter shades as I go along. So this might be a little bit brighter, a little bit brighter. Then I'll label my chorus green. Money track, right? All right. Bridge, B for brown. And then outro, I typically put the outro as like hot pink, just something that I visibly, if I see it, you know. So you do not have to set them up in the same color scheme, but however, if you like, this is just the setup that I tend to use when I'm organizing my tracks here. And I'll pretend that I have some audio recorded here. So we'll pretend that audio is recorded, and then our session should look something like this. Okay. So now you can see the organization here. We have our verse, all our parts recorded here, and then obviously everything's properly labeled, and we're good to go. All right, so that concludes that there. For our next lesson, we'll get a little bit deeper. We'll take it a little bit deeper. But for now, there you go. How to properly create and name your tracks. How to color code the tracks if you need to. How to set our time ruler at the top here. Our tempo. And then how to turn on our tracks list and our clips list. And there you go. All right, I hope this helps. Feel free to subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. And then I will catch everybody on the next one. All right.